The people of regional and remote Australia have been saying very, very clearly that they want better mobile coverage. The Abbott government has heard that message, and in our announcement today we are responding decisively with, as Malcolm has said, $385 million of investment, 499 new or upgraded base stations in outer metropolitan, regional and remote Australia, and that represents the outcome of the selection process in mobile black spots round 1. Of course, we're also announcing today another $60 million for mobile black spots round 2. Since the 2013 election, I've been to some 40 regional and remote electorates, over 60 community meetings, very strong messages from the people who attend those meetings, be it Yarraka in Western Queensland, Bindoon in Western Australia, Dareal in Victoria, Sisters Beach in Tasmania, Savernake in New South Wales and many, many other communities. People are saying they want better mobile coverage for a quicker response for car accidents, for farm accidents, for bushfires, floods, so that tourism operators can attract more guests, so that children can use mobile broadband to do their homework, so that farmers can sell their crops online while sitting on the tractor, and so that people don't miss out on business or social calls or texts. The announcement that we're responding to those requirements with today is the most significant increase in coverage delivered by a public funding program in the history of Australian mobile communications. And it is particularly pleasing that we've had such good level of cooperation between the federal government and the state governments. $24 million from New South Wales, $21 million from Victoria, $10 million from Queensland, $32 million from Western Australia and $350,000 from the Tasmanian government. So Labor or Liberal, governments have seen the wisdom of working together to create the largest possible pool of funds and to give the mobile network operators the best possible incentive to come forward with serious and creative proposals. I do want to acknowledge the mobile network operators. All 3 operators put forward proposals, and base stations from 2 of them have been chosen for funding, Telstra and Vodafone. Both Telstra and Vodafone have put a lot of effort into this, a lot of creative thinking. I want to congratulate those companies and their bid teams which have worked so hard. I also want to talk for a moment, as the Minister mentioned, about the selection process. What we asked the mobile network operators to do was to put forward proposals for base stations to serve locations that had been nominated by members of the community. That list of some 6,000 black spots nominated around Australia. Once the carriers, the mobile network operators, had put forward their proposals, we ranked them base station by base station using an algorithm applying the principles in the guidelines. So there were points for numbers of square kilometres of coverage, numbers of kilometres of major transport route that got coverage and so on. Also points for the amount of co-contribution, funding from state governments and indeed from communities. And that was the basis upon which we arrived at the list that we're announcing today. Can I join with Malcolm in thanking parliamentary colleagues who have worked so hard and who know so much about the needs of their communities, and that's been very evident to me as I've travelled around our country. Of course, we have a massive country. Today's announcement is going to bring mobile coverage to a lot of areas that do not have it, but there will still remain some areas that don't have coverage. And so I want to close by highlighting 2 aspects of today's announcement that are important for those who haven't received funding under this particular announcement. Firstly, the mobile black spots round 2, the $60 million, and again we anticipate working cooperatively with the states. We will certainly be inviting them to do that, and again going through a competitive selection process. In addition, I want to highlight an aspect of the proposal from Telstra, which is 200 4G mini base stations in locations in small towns around Australia where suitable infrastructure is available. Now, mini base stations will have a range of between 200 and 300 metres. They'll support data over the 4G network, and they'll support voice services as the technology for 4G-based voice becomes available. And so Telstra, or the government, will be working with Telstra over coming months to identify the locations for those, which will be another opportunity to address the needs of communities which may have missed out under this program. So with that, I'd now like to invite Andy Penn, the CEO of Telstra, to come up and talk for a moment about Telstra's involvement.
Thank you very much. And firstly, can I just say well done to Paul for his great leadership on this program. I'm very pleased that Telstra is going to be playing such a lead role in what is a very exciting program, bringing mobile coverage to hundreds of regional communities. We've invested billions of dollars over the years to build a world-class network that reaches more than 99% of Australia's population. The Black Spots program helps us extend that coverage even further to areas where it wouldn't have otherwise been commercially viable to do so through an investment alone by Telstra. We put a comprehensive bid into this process, and in recognition of this, the government has committed a large proportion of the funding to Telstra. We will be building 429 new 3G and 4G base stations, with 3G and 4G to each and every station across Australia. And over the next 3 years, that will require an additional investment by Telstra of $165 million in addition to the money which is being funded and supported by the federal government, state government and local councils. These new towers have been made possible not only by the support of the federal government, but as you've heard from Paul, tens of millions of dollars from state government and local councils. And in addition, as you heard, to the 429 new base stations, we've been able to innovate and take some very new and interesting technology in small cells, which are small cells which cover a small amount of area, which provide 4G data coverage. And that's an incremental investment over and above the $165 million from Telstra. As the telco with the biggest presence in both the bush as well as urban Australia, we know how important high-speed mobile access can be to supporting local communities, businesses, tourism and education. So we're pleased, therefore, that with our mobile towers and the small cells, we'll be reaching 670 areas that don't previously have coverage from Telstra over the next 3 years as part of this program. So they too can enjoy the benefits of mobile connectivity. I'd like to close by thanking the Prime Minister, the Minister, the Parliamentary Secretary and the Government for their leadership to enable us to bring Telstra's best network, Telstra, to more communities across regional Australia. Thank you.
And I'll now ask Dan Lloyd, the Director of Strategy at Vodafone, to come and speak on behalf of Vodafone.
Thank you very much indeed. We're delighted to be here. Vodafone is delighted to welcome the funding for 70 base stations across New South Wales, Tasmania, Queensland, Western Australia and Victoria under the Mobile Black Spots program. We're looking forward to expanding our presence in a few selected communities where we feel we can really make a difference and really demonstrate what you can do if you design the incentives of these sort of programs to deliver not just coverage, but competition as well. Many mobile customers in regional Australia have been disadvantaged for far too long, not only with inadequate coverage, but also a lack of choice. Now, this program is, I think, the best step forward in a long time towards giving not only better coverage, but a chance to have a choice of mobile operators. That's a fundamentally different and forward-looking scheme. I want to thank Minister Turnbull and the Parliamentary Secretary Paul Fletcher, of course, who's done all the real hard work for developing and implementing the program and to do it in line with what everyday Australians tell us that they want: mobile coverage, mobile choice. We're determined to make a long-term commitment to offering choice for people in regional Australia. We've invested $3 billion over the last 3 years, and this program gives us a key opportunity to extend that network into regional Australia. We've been actively engaging with local MPs, with senators, councils, businesses, community groups in order to maximise the benefit that we can deliver through this scheme. Many of the MPs and councils have been making strong representations on behalf of many communities. We've been listening to them, working with them in order to prepare this bid. It's really important that the whole industry maximises this opportunity. The scheme is important not only because it subsidises the build of infrastructure, but it also requires industry to work together, to share the infrastructure, to negotiate co-building of infrastructure, co-location of equipment, sharing of transmission. And this second step of the program, I think, will deliver an exponential return for regional Australia. So we invite other mobile network operators to co-invest in our sites, to share our equipment, and we look forward to discussions with the other operators about how we can leverage that opportunity in return. This will deliver even greater benefits for for regional Australia, and it's only right that public money delivers the maximum benefit in terms of coverage and choice. We really welcome the announcement of further funding, and we look forward to working with the government and local communities in order to expand this scheme and this opportunity over time so we can deliver the most we can for regional Australia. Thank you very much indeed.
Excellent.